Today, we are diving deep into the world of desktop publishing. This is how you go from just plain old text and images to those incredible, polished documents that really grab your attention. So, let's get right into it.
Whenever you pick up a glossy magazine or a really sharp-looking brochure, or even just a beautifully designed book, you're looking at the final product of this whole process. It's kind of the secret sauce that makes everything look so good. So, what is it exactly? Well, desktop publishing, or DTP for short, is basically the art of using your computer to do what used to take a massive printing press and a whole team of people. It's all about blending layout, text, and graphics together to create top-tier stuff, whether it's meant for a screen or for a printed page. And with DTP, you're usually creating one of two things. On one side, you have electronic pages. Think websites, ebooks, things made for a digital screen. And on the other, you've got virtual pages for print. And with print, the mantra is what you see is what you get. The goal is that the design on your screen looks exactly like the final printed product. To really get a feel for this, we're going to follow what I like to call a creator's journey. We'll start with the absolute basics, check out the essential tools, set up our digital workspace, add some content, give it that professional shine, and then, finally, get it ready to share with the world. All right, let's jump right in. First up, we need to get to the very heart of what desktop publishing is all about. Of course, you can't do any of this without the right software. So let's take a look at the tools of the trade, from the ones that started it all to the big players we use today. This whole DTP revolution really kicked off back in the mid-'80s. Aldus PageMaker was one of the first big ones. Then came QuarkXPress, which was the undisputed king for years. But then, in 1999, Adobe dropped InDesign, and, well, it pretty much took over and became the standard we all know and use today. And that's exactly where we're going to focus. Adobe InDesign is the powerhouse. It's the industry leader that pros everywhere use to create, well, everything from a simple flyer to a super complex book. Okay, so you've opened up InDesign for the first time. What are you even looking at? The best way to think about it is like an artist's studio or an architect's drafting table. It's your creative space, with all your tools laid out and ready to go. The workspace itself is actually pretty logical. Just think of it like this. Your main tools are over on the left, the specific options for whatever tool you've selected are right up top, and your more advanced controls are on the right. And right in the middle, that's your canvas, where all the magic happens. Every great project starts with the setup. First, you have to tell it your intent. Is this for print, the web, or a mobile device? Then you set up your page size and margins. And for professional printing, you'll add what's called a bleed. That's a little extra image area that gets trimmed off so your design goes right to the very edge. And a slug area for any notes for the printer. Now, if you want to work smart, you have to use master pages. This is a complete game changer. Instead of putting a page number or a company logo on every single page by hand, you just put it on the master page one time, and boom, it automatically shows up everywhere. It's perfect for keeping your branding consistent. Okay, our digital canvas is all set up. Now for the fun part, bringing our document to life with the real building blocks of any design, text and images. So here's maybe the most important idea in all of InDesign. Everything, and I mean everything, lives inside a container called a frame. You don't just type text on a page, you create a text frame for it. You don't just drop a picture in, you place it inside an image frame. This is what gives you absolute pixel-perfect control over where everything goes. And to handle these frames, you've got two main tools. The easiest way to remember it is like this. The black arrow, the selection tool, moves the entire picture frame on the wall. The white arrow, the direct selection tool, lets you reach inside that frame and move the photo around. Getting that difference down, it's absolutely crucial. So you've got content on the page. That's great, but making it look truly professional, that's a whole other ballgame. Let's talk about the techniques that take a design from just good to great. Want to know a pro's secret weapon? It's called paragraph styles. See, instead of manually changing every single headline to be the same font, size, and color, which is super tedious and easy to mess up, you just create one headline style. Then, if you need to make a change, you just edit the style once, and every single headline in your document updates instantly. It is the key to being consistent and efficient. Now, check this out. We have all seen documents like this, right? Where an image is just kind of plopped on top of the text and you can't read anything. It just looks clumsy and, honestly, unprofessional. This is the before. And the solution is so simple: text wrap. With literally a single click, you can make the text intelligently and beautifully flow around the image. It creates this clean, seamless, professional look. It's a small feature that makes a huge difference.
And of course, there's a lot more in the toolkit. You can use the Align panel to line things up perfectly, add subtle drop shadows to give things depth, use gradients for cool color blends, and just like with text, you can use object styles to apply the same effects to multiple images instantly.
Your design is done. It looks fantastic. But before you go and send it off to anyone, there are a couple of super important final steps to make sure all your hard work pays off.
Think of this as your final safety net. Pre-flighting is basically an automatic quality check. InDesign scans your whole document and warns you about any potential problems, like a missing image link or a font that isn't installed correctly. This little step can save you from really expensive and embarrassing mistakes down the line. Once your pre-flight check is all clear, don't just email the InDesign file itself. You need to package it. This command is amazing. It gathers up your main file, every single image you used, and all the fonts you need, and puts them into one tidy folder. It's the totally foolproof way to hand off a project to a printer. And there you have it, from a completely blank page to a professional, polished, shareable document. We've gone through the tools, the workspace, and the key techniques to make it happen. The power is right there at your fingertips. So really, the only question left is, what story are you going to tell?